Hi, I'm Congresswoman Harriet Hageman. We had another busy week here in the nation's capital. This week was Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week. On Tuesday, I joined dozens of my colleagues to hold a vigil in memory of the 282 law enforcement officers that were killed in the line of duty last year, as well as the over 24,000 officers killed in our nation's history, 62 of whom served and died in Wyoming. In honor of Police Week, the House also passed multiple bills to better recruit, retain, and protect cops and to combat the drug smuggling and human trafficking disaster at our southern border. As we celebrate our police officers this week, I ask you to keep the family and friends of Sheridan Police Sergeant Nevada Krinke in your thoughts and prayers. Sergeant Krinke was killed this February while protecting his community, and his service and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Now I would like to share a bit of good news with you. This week, the United States Post Office announced that it has agreed to pause all planned consolidation of the Postal Service's processing network until at least January of 2025, a move that will keep mail processing in both Cheyenne and Casper. The USPS was considering the closure of both centers under the planned realignment, meaning that Wyoming mail would need to be processed in Denver, Salt Lake City, or Billings. While the delay is good and will hopefully result in killing the consolidation permanently, I have introduced bipartisan and bicameral legislation, the Postal Act, that would ensure that consolidation never occurs and that Wyoming will always maintain a postal processing center. I also introduced the Award Act, which would ensure the National Institutes of Health distributes research grants and awards through a merit-based system, as opposed to the current diversity, equity, and inclusion-based criteria used to allocate federal funds. The billions of taxpayer dollars allocated to the NIH should be used to fuel impactful, groundbreaking scientific research and not satisfying gender and racial employment quotas. The Biden administration's countless DEI first actions have undermined the concepts of meritocracy and meaningful research, and American ingenuity and innovation has suffered mightily as a result. The Award Act addresses these failures by requiring the NIH to use selection criteria based on the research to be done, not the social demographics of those conducting it, when awarding federal funds. Finally, in my committee hearings, I had the opportunity to address several important topics. For the Select Committee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government, we addressed lawfare, which is how the Democrats have been abusing our legal system to attack and persecute their opponents. The Democrats' use of lawfare doesn't require a conviction. It is intended designed to stifle free speech, bankrupt opponents, and inflict maximum political damage. Under the weaponized legal system of Democrat prosecutors, no Republican is safe. In the New York case that is going on right now, for example, the entire process is rigged to do what Joe Biden cannot do at the ballot box, which is to beat Donald Trump. The judge has even imposed a gag order on the former president, a move one of our hearing witnesses said he has never witnessed in his 35 years with the DOJ, explaining that gag orders are typically used to prevent the prosecution from tainting the jury pool, not to infringe on the First Amendment rights of a defendant. We must stop this insidious use of our judicial system and return to the rule of law, equal justice, and due process. In a Natural Resources Subcommittee hearing this week, I had the opportunity to question BLM Director Tracy Stone Manning. There are millions of acres of BLM lands along our southern border, yet the director has admittedly only visited the border one time and has made no effort to assess the environmental impact of having millions of illegals crossing these lands. In contrast, the BLM continues to weaponize FLPMA, NEPA, and other environmental regulations to try to put Wyoming's legacy industries out of business. It is clear that this administration intends to stop our livestock and energy industries from using these lands, all under the guise of climate change hysteria, while ignoring the threats posed by uncontrolled migration. As always, I appreciate your support and look forward to continuing to serve you. If you would like more information on all this week's votes, committee hearings, media interviews, and more, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter, The Wyoming Roundup, or follow me on social media at Rep. Hageman. Links to the newsletter and my social media pages are also provided on my website, hageman.house.gov. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you back in Wyoming.